What's up, people? Welcome. Monday, November 18th. Wow. 1 week from, I guess, 1 week before the week of Thanksgiving. Pretty exciting. We're finishing up SA3. Some of you might feel like you're done after this week. Some of you might feel like you don't need 3 weeks of editing. Isn't that crazy when you think about it? Yeah, it's 3 weeks of editing. You're editing. You're done with with draft with your first draft or your only draft of SA3, and we are editing this week. Next week we're off. Now, I cannot force you to not do any schoolwork next week, but technically speaking, you have nothing assigned to you next week. Thanksgiving week is supposed to be it's kind of like spring break, okay? Uh, and so there are no assignments over Thanksgiving break, okay? Now that doesn't mean that you can't do stuff over spring break, okay? If you are failing this class, if you're failing this class, then next Sunday is the absolute last day that I'm taking any type of late work. Okay. If you are not failing this class, not failing this class, like you're currently passing, but you still have missing assignments, you can turn your work in. I would like it this week. I really wouldn't like it over Thanksgiving, but I guess that's not really fair. Whatever. You know what? Forget all of you. Going into December, here's the dealio. You can turn in missing work and get a 70. Okay. I'm not taking it past then though. All right. So once I start grading your essays, I'm done with makeup work and late work. All right. There's a lot of you out there who are still failing. So I really want you to get you up to passing. Okay. And so I will take late work up until the point that you are passing. Okay. But I am not taking just blind amounts of late work. And every late work grade is still a 70. So, you only need you only need a 60 to pass the class. Okay. So let me reemphasize that. Okay. Classwork it will be a 60. Essays can earn up to a 70 if they are 100% correct. Okay. Now the school policy is zero late work. And my boss, the department head, she doesn't take any late work. All right. Now I understand that, and especially in the upper level classes, no. But a lot of the 1101 students are dual enrollment students. A lot of them are high school seniors. And there is no credit recovery for this class. If you fail English 1101, then you do not graduate. And I've had some students who did not graduate because they didn't do any work and they did not listen to the cutoff date and they wanted to turn in all their work after the cutoff date. And I was like, no, that's not, you can't do that. Okay. So the absolute cutoff date for all late work is December 1st. This is my official statement, December 1st. And the highest grade you can get for classwork is 60, 60. Okay. And then the highest grade you can get on an essay that's been turned in late, is currently a 0 right now, is a 70. And that's with 0 errors. If you have 5 errors on your essay, then 5 times 5 is 25. That means that your 70 goes down to a 45. Okay. So no errors. Don't have any errors. All right. But December 1st, that's the Sunday after Thanksgiving. So you can spend all Thanksgiving break working on makeup work if you need to. All right. But once that's done, I'm putting all grades in, and I'm not taking more late work. All right, cut off. In fact, I think I'm going to cut off all of the. It takes a lot of work. If I get a lot of energy and I decide to go through every single Dropbox in the grade book, and then I'm going to try to make them visible only until December 1st at 11:49 p.m. And then I'm gonna make them disappear, so that way there is absolute no submitting work come December 2nd. I'm looking at my calendar on my other screen. All right. So that's the plan. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the final week SA3 Dropbox and allow those who want to start submitting their papers early can do that, and that would be awesome on your part. If now look, here's the thing. Once I grade SA3, it is done. It's done. People in the past have felt that if they turn in SA3 before the due date, and then I grade the essay and give them a grade, they request being able to fix those errors and resubmit SA3. No, that's not going to happen. I am happy when people submit their essays early, so that way I can get a jump start on grading them, because the grading window from when essays are turned in and when grades are due is so small. It's like 4 days. It's like super tiny. All right. It's ridiculous. So when people turn in essays early, I'm like, yes, okay, praise whatever God you worship. Thank you. All right. But like, I'm not excited so that way I can grade your essay and then have you redo it and then resubmit it for me to grade again. That's causing way more work for me. Okay. So if you turn your essay in, let's say you turn your essay in on November 24th. Okay. And then I decide to wake up on Monday morning, the 25th. I wake up at like 6. None of my family's awake. So I'm bored. I'm done with my puzzle. I did my workout and I have nothing else to do. All right. And I decided to open up my computer and I see that people have started submitting their papers. Well, then I'm going to go ahead and grade those, because it reduces my workload in that short amount of time later on when everybody else is turning their essays. So if I grade your essay and I put in a final grade, you're done. You are done. If I put in a final grade for you and you are at an 88 in the class, there is no begging me for if you can redo it, if you can fix something, if you can do something else. All right. Like when I finish a grade, it's not so that way you can negotiate. It is done. So understand that. All right. That do not submit SA3 until you are 100% on happy with it, cool with your grade, you have everything else turned in, you don't have any more late grades, all is done. There is no looking at your final grade and then wanting to negotiate. I want to be very clear about that. Okay. I've spent 5 minutes now, 10 minutes now, just talking about all of that. All right. So let's just make sure we're clear. All right. The Dropbox for SA3 will be officially open as soon as today. Let me share my screen. So I'll do that again where I have to re-record because I didn't share my dang old screen. Idiot. Okay. So let's see. Oh wait, have we even written the first draft of SA3? I guess not. Okay. Well, whatever. Some of you might want to write a draft and not do anything else with it. All right. I technically am going to go over and edit your paper lesson when we come back, but I'm really actually doing that today. I'm going to go over notes. All right. So let's say this week you write your draft, you go to the writing lab, you get it all done. All right. You're happy with it. You want to be done with this class. You currently have an A and you're like, I know I'll do well. Turn it in, boom, get it done, whatever. And then you're done early. Okay. The the final draft is the final thing that y'all have to do. Okay. I am not going to require you to type and submit an SA3. No. All right. So I know for some of you, you just want to be done with your paper. All right. So I want to open the door and let y'all go ahead and understand that once you have finished typing and editing and working through and finalizing SA3, you can submit it and be done with the class. All right. You can do that this week. You can do that over Thanksgiving, or you can do it the final week. All right. Whatever you want to do. I was going to say one more thing about all of that. Oh, here we go. You ready for this? Big announcement. Big announcement. If SA3's grade is higher than at least than one of your other two essays, I will replace your lowest grade with the SA3 score. Okay. So let's say SA1 is a 65. SA2 is an 85. And then you make a 95 on SA3. I will replace the 65 from SA1 with a 95 from SA3. Okay. If you did really well on SA1, you made let's say a 90, but then SA2, for whatever reason, you did bad on, you did poorly on, and your grade went down. And so you made a 65 on SA2. And then on SA3, you make an 85. Okay. I will replace that 65 with an 85. All right. So understand, it's not, I'm not replacing the lowest grade with your highest essay grade. I'm replacing your lowest grade from SA1, SA2 with your SA3 score. All right. So if you made a 95 on SA2, cool. You need to make a 95 again on SA3 if you want me to replace maybe the first essay. All right. I'm not picking the highest essay to replace with the lowest essay. It's only SA3. SA3 score, if it's higher than at least one of your previous essays, I will replace that lowest grade with the same score as SA3. All right. You hear me? I'm not dropping the lowest grade. I'm replacing the lowest grade, which actually gives you more points. Okay. All right. Let me know if you have any questions about that. All right. So real fast before I want to go and say this. When you are done with your essay, if you're done with essay 3, okay, if you want, you can email it to me, and I will use your paper as my editing papers for my live edits for week 16. The week 16 lecture is going to be me just doing a live edit of people's papers. Okay. Now I don't send those back to you. You just have to watch and hope that it's your paper, and then do the same things that I'm doing to it. All right. But today I'm gonna go over SA2s that people and show how people did. And then week 16, I'm just going to do live edits of people's drafts. Okay. So you just need to tell me to use your draft, and I will. If I get 2 people to email me this, then I'll do 2 on the lecture. If I get 10, then I'll just do the first couple of ones, however many I can fit in within an hour. I mean, within 30 minutes. Okay. All right, y'all. So here we go. Here we go. This week, I'm going to focus on, through my going over SA2, I'm going to really focus on integrating sources, using quotes, parenthetical citations, and works cited page. I am seeing consistent errors in these things that I have been emphasizing and teaching, okay? And that's a problem. So what I want you to do for this week is pull up this PowerPoint on week 14. I mean, this PDF notes. PDF notes week 14. This is the same PDF that's posted in, I think, week 4. I'm pretty sure it's week 4, okay? There you go. Okay. Week 4 downloads. Let's see. It's the same notes. I can just open up from here. These week 4 notes, all this stuff I'm grading you on. That's really, for the most part, I'm really focusing in on is grading you, is constructing your paragraphs, and integrating quotes, your MLA formatting. Okay, this stuff, titles and quotations. I'm getting so many people who are not doing their titles correctly. Hold on one second, y'all. I think I have some in my door. Okay, sorry. All right, so titles and quotation marks. There were a lot of people for SA2 who were not using quotation marks and writing their titles correctly, okay? Titles of books, publishing websites, magazines, newspapers, albums, and films go in italics. There were so many. I want to show you some examples. There were so many people who wrote Politico magazine, Politico website, and they wrote it not in italics. That's an error. There was somebody who wrote about Taylor Swift, and they wrote the titles of her albums and songs incorrectly. Albums go in italics. So like American Beauty is a album by the Grateful Dead. It's in italics. Titles of short stories, poems, articles, songs. These go in quotation marks. This was posted back, and I went over this back in week 4. So like Bertha is the name of a great song from the album American Beauty. Oh, actually, I'm wearing this t-shirt. I went and saw a Grateful Dead drag cover band in Tennessee. Awesome. And their name was Bertha. So like their name would be actually not italics at all, because the name of a band is not in italics. Okay. The name of an album is in italics. Songs are in quotation marks. Same thing with films. The Outsider is a film. American Beauty is actually also the name of a film, not just an album. Star Wars is a film. It's supposed to be in italics. So for example, let's see. All right. This student started off correct. George Madden. I, Tanya. Yes. In italics. That's great. I, Tanya. In italics. That's great. But then at times the student did not. Okay. Every time we say, okay, good. Italics. Good. Uh-oh, here. No italics. Okay. We don't only make them italics, but we also do it consistently. Consistently is important. Okay. And the student who wrote about Taylor Swift made many errors because that person was putting both the title of the songs and the albums in quotation marks, which is incorrect. Okay. Again, here, The Atlantic goes in italics because it's the name of, it's actually a magazine. The title of the article goes in quotation marks because it's an article. A lot of people are still making errors with punctuating quotation marks. People are still putting the commas outside of the quotation marks. That is incorrect. They go inside. If it was a period, it would go inside as well. All right. See, this is correct. That's correct. period on the inside, comma on the inside. People are making errors with quotes within a quote. Quotes within a quote use singular quotation marks, which are actually apostrophes. Hillary Armstrong discusses how when a person is, quote, seeing red, but we just use it an apostrophe because there's already a quotation here, they are actually experiencing nerve damage caused by an increase of blood flow to the brain, period, and quotation mark. I'm seeing this error within people's writing. They would do quotation mark when a person is seeing quotation mark, seeing red, they are blah, 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 blah. Okay, it has to be an apostrophe. See this title has quotation marks in it. 3/4 of teens, quote, feel happy, quote, away from their phones. So if you are going to write that title, you need to use apostrophes in it. Quotation mark, 3/4 of teens, apostrophe, feel happy, apostrophe, away from their phones, quotation mark. Okay, I'm seeing these errors. So we got to make sure that we fix them. Citations. People are making this error over and over again. Every sentence that contains a quote must include the author's name, either in the sentence or in the citations, but not both. Not both. There are a lot of people who are writing authors' names in the sentence and in the parenthetical citation. I went over this in week 4. Redundant citations will be marked as errors. All right, so here's a correct one. A successful adaptation in film is keeping to the heart of the original story, emphasizing the best features of the literary work and not changing anything fundamental to the original story. Parenthetical citation, Baldwin. The author's name is not mentioned in this sentence. Therefore, it is placed in the parenthetical citation from the page with the page number, if there is a page number, okay? Here, according to film critic Annie Baldwin, a successful adaptation in the film is blah, 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 blah. All right. Look, there is no author's name in this citation. It's also not a year. It's a page number if this was read in a book. If there is no book read, it's online, there's no number here. In that case, actually, we would have nothing here because the author's name is mentioned in this sentence, Baldwin. Therefore, it does not appear in the parenthetical citation. But a lot of people are doing this, and this is incorrect. According to film critic Annie Baldwin, a successful adaptation in film is keeping to the heart of the original story. And then they have Baldwin 15, period. That is incorrect. If Baldwin's here and Baldwin's here, error. Wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. Okay? People are also making this error as well. Putting it all, okay, listen. If you are leading straight into the quote, all right, then you don't have a comma here. If you're introducing the quote with a verb like writes, then you have a comma here. Okay. Aja Romano discusses how King's writing has always displayed significant literary qualities, particularly ongoing literary themes that have shaped. Okay. So you are writing this as a complete sentence. You're not leading in and emphasizing that it's a quote. If I read this out loud, no one would know I'm directly quoting it. Here, this right here, you are declaring that you're about to use a quote. You are saying Aja Romano writes. Aja Romano says. Aja Romano argues. And now you are declaring that this is going to be a direct quote. Okay, writes, says, argues, debates, and then you would have a comma. Okay. Also, capital letters. This is capitalized because it's a proper noun. But we only capitalize the first word of a quote if it comes after a comma and a verb. We do not capitalize if it comes after a word that just links it. Okay. In this case, if this was not king, if this was not a proper noun, it would be lowercase. All right. All right. Let me look at some examples here before we run out of time. This is a D paper. It looks like it would be an A paper. I think if you show this to a parent, they'll be like, oh yeah, this looks like an A, but it's not though. There's errors. Okay, there's an inconsistency in the title. These are supposed to be all in italics, but they're not. That's inconsistent. Next, the space. Look at this space. This space we'll just do that. This space is much bigger than the spaces between these lines. Okay. So look, let's say we highlight just this paragraph. And we go to paragraph. 0, 0, double. Good, as it should be. But when we highlight the whole thing, all of it, and we go to paragraph, it is not 0, 0, double. It's blank, which means there's inconsistencies. This needs to be 0. This needs to be double. And then watch right here. When I hit click OK, watch what happens here. Eyes focus, y'all. Right here. Huh. It changed. Okay. And now we have this extra space we need to delete. All right. That closed the gap. So that was an error. These inconsistencies are errors. This does not need to be italicized. That's not part of the title. That's an error also. Okay. These are all errors. This right here was an error because of the spacing. This right here, there's some sort of typo right here. That's an error. Highlight. That's an error. That shouldn't be there. And also we have repetition here. I telling you to highlight the difference between the actual truth and how the media portrays it. And then with the same exact line, that's redundant. That's just, I don't know if that's being used to like fill in space or what, but that's an error. Okay. Okay, then here, movie critic, this person states that in 1993, Harding, okay, so see, this right here is an error because if they ended it with states, then we would have a comma here, and this would work. But because we have states that the word that now makes us not just leading to it's not saying here's a quote, it is talking about it as one big long idea. So now we delete the capital and we put lowercase in. States that in 1993, Harding had to blah, 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 blah. All right. Now, here is another big error. This quote is way too long, y'all. Your quotes should be about 2 lines. 2 lines. That's about it. This quote is way too long. All right. I suggest shortening quotes, which I have gone over shortening quotes in this PowerPoint. Okay. Oh, look, in this PowerPoint on page, I don't know, whatever page this is, I go more into about punctuating these quotes when you integrate. Argues, comma, capital letter, discusses how, lowercase letter. Then I go over shortening, how to shorten quotes, how to break down a large chunk to integrate into a paragraph. And I go over that here in these notes. Okay. You cannot have super long quotes. But then here we have a series of more errors. I gotta use a different color now because it's error on top of error. Here we have a period before the parenthetical citation. That period shouldn't be there because the parenthetical citation is part of the sentence. The period should be after it. But now we have another error here because we have the name Gajanin mentioned, stated in the parenthetical citation, but we already have that person's name right here. So as already instructed, if you mention the author's name in the sentence, then you don't have a parenthetical citation. So we got to delete that. Which now means actually the period that was the error was not this period. It's now this period. Craziness. Okay. So these are all now. This right here. This transitions into the quote correctly. Film reviewer. I think that's probably Christina Byrne. Ugh, oh God. Yeah. Oh no, it says history. Christina. So okay. All right. Explained that a few involved crimes, including I, Tanya, which traumatizes the life of. All right. So this is correct. Explain that, and then it leads right into the quote that there's no comma, there's no capital letter. That's very good. But then we have problems here, though. We have I, Tanya, should be in italics. And then we have, oh, no period here, which is great. But actually, the period should be there because this should not be there because the name has already been mentioned in the lead-in. So that actually should be a period right there. And this should be deleted. Okay. Which I'm still going to just leave evidence of that. Okay. So again, errors. This right here is beginning of a new paragraph. We need a tab. Okay. Then we have this really confusing. Based on Jill Simola and Patrick Ecole's statements, they stated, all right, this. So we have a quotation mark here, but then we have a quotes here. This should just be one apostrophe, not two. Two apostrophe creates quotation marks. But the whole point of the apostrophe is to not have a quotation mark to show it's a quote within a quote, as already discussed. So we should just have one. Just gonna mark the error. And then here, okay? Now, are these two quoted down here? All right, there it is. Good. All right. All right. And then we have this big mess. Y'all, we got to have a works cited page that's correct. Okay. You can't just throw a bunch of stuff down here. This does not, everything about college formatting is for it to look proper and nice, okay, and organized. And this is madness. All right. So let's bring it to the very top. Let's have consistency. The whole essay needs to be, your whole essay needs to have one font and one font size. Okay, that's it. All right, everything should be the same. When we do select all, my computer's freaking out. Select all. This should not be blank. All right, so, and then we need to not capitalize. Works cited. Bring this up. These need to be alphabetical order. I don't know what's happening here with this spacing and why that's way over there. Okay, and why this is. Just gotta work with it, and it should be alphabetical order by the first source in the citations. So B, all right, G, fine. Then S. All right, but then like this is highlighted. We should not have any highlighting. There should be no shade. And that's annoying to try to like get rid of, but oh well, it's your job. Get rid of it. Figure out how to. What you can do is always you can go up to this little thing right here, click that, and it removes all formatting. So then you'll just have to go back to paragraph, hit double for that highlighted part, make sure it's Times New Roman 12. All right, boom, now it's gone and it's there. Great, awesome, fantastic, wonderful, beautiful. Okay. All right, so like, look, these are the errors in this essay. That seems college level. It has quotes. It looks good, right? But it is not up to par. There's still plenty of errors. All those yellows are 5 points off, 5 points off, which I think I spared this student by giving this student a 60. All right, when really if you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, these whole things, 16, and then this whole mess, 17, because this was way too big. The 18, this was out of order. 19, because this one had that stuff. All right, so let's say 19, 19 errors. 19 times 5 takes us to like 95. So the student would get a 5. So I kept it out at 60, all right? But these are all things that have to be fixed. All right, y'all, you have to fix these. The best thing to do is this. I have like 4 minutes. Is this, look. This student right here, Daniel Johns, I'm not gonna go over their essay with you, but fully. All right, essay one was a 65. The student made a 65 on this essay. The heading shouldn't be indented. Okay. Oh, that was just me making a comment. Have you ever had a friend that's just gorgeous? That's me. But then there are these errors. Okay, if you have a question mark, you don't have a period. All right, like no, and then this period should be inside. These are individual questions, not quotes within a quote. So therefore, they should have been double. This should be I said specifically you couldn't use this type of source, and also should be in italics. All right, there was too much space in the paragraphs. This comma needs to be inside. There should be a comma here. All right, so there's this should be in italics. All right, that period should be inside. Too much space. These should be double spaced. Okay, so there's a lot of errors. Now, what this person did was they opened this up, and then when they were editing their final their essay 2, they looked at all the things that they did wrong for essay 1 in my comments, and then they just made sure not to do it. This is not indented like it was for essay 1. Essay 2, they made a 95. They made a 95. They went from a 65 to a 95. And now if this person makes a 95 for essay 3, that 65 will be turned into a 95. And you could tell that they went through their essay and they just made sure not to make the same mistakes. Now, sometimes they missed a few, like this one right here. This is a repetitive mistake that is here, like that. Okay. But that's the only time they made that mistake again in this paper. All right. This is That's correct. Look, title of a movie in italics, good. Citation, good. Quote integrated correctly. When talking to doctors, they advise their patients with EDS should avoid chewing gum to protect the jawline. Okay. All right. And then we go down here. So this person's again, this is not double spaced. All right, go here, and this one time it was double spaced. So they have far fewer errors in this essay, and you can tell that it's because they looked at what they did wrong in essay 1 and fixed it for essay 2. So what you need to do is when working on essay 3, pull up your graded essay, look at all your errors that I highlighted, and make sure that after you've already written essay 3, you go through and you edit it and you look at every single thing to make sure that you didn't make the same mistakes twice. Your goal for essay 3 is to get a 100. All right. Some of you might find it hard to believe that I give out 100s. I do. If I don't see any errors, 100. All right. So you can do that. You can be able to replace your lowest grade in the class with essay 3's grade. All right. And your goal is for essay 3 to be the highest grade it can possibly be. All right. So write your paper well, go through all my notes, edit your paper by looking at look at all your quotes. Make sure all your quotes line up to your works cited page. Make sure that those are organized correctly. That your works cited page looks beautiful. All right. I will post a perfect-ish essay example for you to then compare yours to. All right. Sign up to go to the writing lab. Tell them that your instructor focuses on MLA formatting, the integration of quotes, properly citing sources, and works cited page. Those are the main things I'm focused on, is all formatting, because that's what carries over to all your other classes. MLA formatting, integrating quotes, citing those sources, and then a works cited page. That's the main thing. Okay. And your paper now is going to have 6 quotes, minimum 6 quotes, 2 quotes per paragraph, a quote from your memoir for each paragraph, body paragraph. So that's 3 quotes from your memoir, and then a quote from each of your secondary sources. So that's 6 times I'm looking to see, did you integrate correctly? Did you punctuate correctly? Did you cite your source correctly? The source that you cite appears on your works cited page, and is everything that's on your works cited page appear in your essay. Okay, so take it seriously, do well, take your time, write your essay, spend 2 weeks editing it, and then turn it in. And email me along the way if you have any questions. All right, take it easy. Peace out. Yo, bye.